Yo, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give Kol Halal Yahweh Bahashem Hamashiach Yahweh for giving me the spirit and power to do this lesson, and for giving me the spirit and power to wake up another day to show forth repentance in these last days. Uh, I want to give Shema Yasharallah Yahweh Allah Yahweh Yahweh Kud, Deuteronomy 6 and verse 4 in the Paleo Hebrew. Abaratazai, everybody been having enduring to the end in their journey. Everybody got their own journey, their own walk they gotta walk. And Today, what I want to teach about is basically the fear of the Lord. But I want to use a topic that it's a topic that puts fear in all of us because none of us want to get stuck here in Babylon and we hearing sirens going off and we see nukes coming across the sky and that's when you're gonna be thinking about all the things you did wrong, all the things you could have did better. That's when you're gonna want to talk to God. And I'm talking about, the world is gonna be like this. Right? It says in the scriptures, all hands shall be weak as water, all knees shall be weak as water. You ever seen somebody, about to get into a fight or anything like? Because I done seen a lot of brothers, before they about to fight, their knees get to shaking, their hands get to shaking. Some of them are afraid, and some of them is just their nervous system, is ready. It's ready to go. Fight or flight. That's what they call it. But that's what I want to touch on, the fear of the Lord of these nukes that is coming, not a possibility. These nukes are going to destroy Babylon, America the Great. And what man or woman ought to be to escape that? Because when you read in Peter, I'm going to get that first before we get into the lesson. Let me get that. Oops, sorry. So this is First Peter chapter 4 and 18. First Peter 4 and 18, it says, I'm going to start at 17. It says, for the time has come that the judgment must begin at the house of God. That's why I always go over and I believe wholeheartedly that, Jacob's trouble in the great tribulation period is two different things. Now, when I say two different things, the same chaotic things are going to be taking place, but you got Jacob's trouble is only for Jacob. So what happens to the nations that we read about in the scriptures? That's where you get the tribulation period. That's going to come upon the whole entire planet, man. Everybody gonna be tested with this RFID chip. Everybody gonna be, and it's time for people to get punished too. The day of the Lord. Let's say that. The day of the Lord, the tribulation period, Jacob's trouble. Right? They can't, you can't put Jacob's trouble with the great tribulation period or with the day of the Lord, man. You just can't. Because Jacob's trouble is just for Jacob. The nations, they got their judgment too. So whatever you want to call that, just know that those are two different things, man. But it's the same chaotic state that's gonna happen to both parties, both situations. So he says, for the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of God. Jacob's trouble is gonna happen first. It says, and if it first begin at us, the church, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel? You see that? The persecution of the church is coming, and then the ones that didn't obey the gospel, what do you think gonna happen to them? Then it says, and if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? Everybody talks a good game, but nobody's seen missiles coming across the sky. And I was doing some research on these missiles, right? I want to get that first. I want to break that down first. So America has what so I was looking at, the missiles that these countries got and the threats that they making towards each other. And while I'm doing this lesson, I want to make this footnote. Uh, America just gave Ukraine the okay to use United States of America intercontinental ballistic missiles against Russia. So that means I would deem America an enemy too. I would declare war on America too if somebody handed somebody something to help destroy me. You're an enemy. So keep that in mind. That's how close we are, right? The time of judgment, right? That's going to happen to Jacob first and then the nations, right? And Abaratazar, we be a part of that hopeful elect, you know what I'm saying? Because he's saying the righteous scarcely being saved. Like, it's going to be situations where we feel like, you know, we feel like it's over with. Because, like, when you think, and I like to use this analogy, when you read Genesis, when you read in the book of Noah, when you read about Noah, so like in the book of Genesis, it said that when Noah went in that ark, it still didn't rain for 7 days. So you know Noah was in this ark, like, damn, did I just play myself? Is it really gonna rain? Is it really you? It says the evil seed have been sown in Adam from the beginning. So you know Noah had those thoughts too, right? These are perfect people to the Most High, but we all the way going back to Adam, have those kind of thoughts, and that evil always starts with your thoughts, and now those evil thoughts always start with doubt, doubting the Most High and His power. You know, when the Most High say He's going to protect us in that day, a lot of people they're gonna flake. They gonna do whatever they feel like is comfort for them when it comes to them being saved. They're gonna try to save themselves, whether it's by weapons, by going to go do what Esau tell them to do, whatever the case is. They're not going to depend on the Most High. They're not going to depend on the Holy One of Israel, which is Isaiah 10 and 20, right? But going back to my point, America has nuclear missiles. All these nations have nuclear missiles, and they're threatening one another with these nuclear missiles. Like Trump, he said, "Well, hell, we'll just blow them to smithereens." Well, hell, we'll just blow them to smithereens. That's all you heard Trump say. We'll just blow them to smithereens. Like these other nations ain't thinking the same thing. And when you read in Second Esdras, chapter 15, this is an end time prophecy. Second Ezra 15 and 20. Behold, said God, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me. The word reverence goes back to respect. So they're going to pay respect to the Most High simply by doing what He instructed them to do. Proverbs 21 and 1. Which are from the rising of the sun, right? The sun, what is it? Set on the east. It rises on the east and sets on the west. Or it might be the other way around. But it says, from the south, from the east, in Libanus, so west, to turn themselves one against another and repay the things that they have done to them. You see that? And it's talking about His chosen. So the Most High is going to make these heathens, they're going to be destroying each other because of what they did to the nation of Israel, right? It's like making, because they all against us, but the Most High is like, it's like He's tapping into them and making them slap and punch each other, slap and punch themselves. Because that's what they're doing. You only hurting yourself because y'all supposed to be all against us as a people. But they going to be in the middle of the war, and Yahweh Shah going to crack the sky open and get the, handling business. Right? And they're going to channel that anger towards the Most High. But the Most High said in the last days, He's going to call all the kings of the earth and their armies to reverence Him, respect Him, do what He instructed them to do. Whether they believe it's Him doing it or not. It's the Most High. All of a sudden, this dude got the spirit of he just want vengeance. He just want, he just want to destroy stuff now. And he over there turn Ukraine ass up, man. And that ain't the only war that's going on right now. There's a couple of wars over there that's going on. They just hiding it. But going back to the point, America has a missile, one of their biggest bombs, and this is why a lot of the nations are afraid of them. So they have something called the B-83 bomber, and this bomb can kill up to 1.2 million people, man. One of these B-83s, and they have several of them. So this is why these nations are and always been afraid of America these last couple of years. It's because America possessed these bombs, which is the B-83, and a lot of people, one can kill up to 1.2 million. Nobody's trying to sacrifice that many of their people, man. So they got to play it cool. But now Russia, China, Iran, they've upped the ante with their technology, and they feel like, okay, you bomb us, we're gonna bomb you back. And I even went into the research on what kind of bombs Russia, China got. And bro, they got bombs that's crazy too. But I want to stay with America for a second. So America has what is it? Not submarine. Whatever they navies is, them I think it is a submarine. They be having those submarines underwater, and those missiles that they have in those things are way worse than the B-83 bomber, right? So it's called a Trident 2, right? And a Trident 2 can kill up to 2.8 million people, right? And injure up to 4 million people. And they said that uh it gives a 14-mile radius that will give people, anybody within a 14-mile radius would get third degree burns. So anybody within a 14-mile radius will get third degree burns on them from one of these Trident missiles, right? And they have 14 submarines that they've classified. That means that they put on record. We know they got way more. So they got 14 that they put that's out there, 14 submarines, and these Tritons, I mean these submarines can hold 20 Triton 2 missiles. So one submarine, 20 Trident 2 missiles. One Trident 2 missile can kill up to 2.8 million people and injure up to 4 million and give third degree burns to anybody within a 14-mile radius. That's one. So one submarine has 20 of them. They have 14 submarines. Do the math, man. That will annihilate a country. Like easy. It will annihilate a country, man. And this is a record from 2010. So, man, when I went into this research, when I went and looked this up, it made the purpose. I'm like, man, this is so clear how America just gonna be wiped off the map. It's so clear. It is so clear. And China, they have a bomb called the DF-5C ICBM missile, and this missile is 100 feet tall, 100 feet tall, and they said the effects anybody within a 22-mile radius gets third degree burns. Anybody within a 22-mile radius is going to get third degree burns from this DF-5C ICBM intercontinental ballistic missile that China has. Think about it. A pool, the average pool is 12 feet deep. 12 feet, right? We look at basketball players, we be like, dang, that dude tall. We talking about 100-foot missile. 100-foot missile. And we know that they have multiple of them. They don't just have one. They got multiple of them. And this is why China has gotten so prideful, because they got these missiles. They got these missiles, man. And they giving this technology to Iran, right? And remember, America just killed Iran. Man, I don't care if it was 3 years ago. I consider that you just killed their commander. You just killed their commander 3 years ago. That's not long ago at all when it comes to murdering somebody. They killed their commander. You think they don't want get back? Hey, matter of fact, I think it was his daughter, that commander's daughter, or it was his niece. This is a female who vowed to take vengeance on America. They vowed to take vengeance on America. So this is the Lord stirring up the hearts of the kings of the East. I can tell you in 2nd Esdras. We're watching all of this play out right now. What manner of person ought we to be? What should we be doing? I know some of these things we do is hard. I get it. But that's the only way you can prove yourself with the Most High. When I say prove a friend, brother, you know what that means? That means like they gotta go through all the tests, man. I'm talking about the test of, like, you bringing them around your girl, you bringing them in your house and seeing how they conduct themselves, you being down, on your, you being down, you ain't got nothing, and see how they act when you ain't got nothing. See if they come to help you. There's so many ways that you would have to prove people, and sometimes we don't even want to do that. We don't even want to do it. So when the Most High God, when he proves us, sometimes we don't want to go through it. We don't want to do it. But we have to be proved, right? Let me put it like this. The Most High going to prove you regardless. It's up to you if you want to be a friend or not. If you want to be a friend of Yahweh Shah Mashiach and get covered under his blood. And it's just that simple, right? And that's what he said. Yahweh Shah said that. He said, let's see. So this is John 15:15. It says, henceforth, meaning from now on, I call you not servants, for the servants knoweth not what his Lord doeth. See? So what does that make us that in 2024? What does that make us being that we know what the Lord is, what his plans are? What does that make us? It says, but I have called you friends, for all things that I have heard of my Father I have made known unto you. So if you understand the words of Yahweh Shah Mashiach, that means it was made known to you, meaning you are potentially his friend. It's a great chance you're his friend. All praises to the Most High, but guess what? That friend has to be proved. Why do I say that? When you go to Revelation chapter 3 and 19, it says, as many as I love, I rebuke and chasten. Be zealous, therefore, and repent. That's red letter. So Yahweh Shah called us friends, but friends have to be proven. I mean, that's the only way you know you got a friend. And some people don't go through the process of proving a friend, and that's why they get stabbed in the back or whatever the case is, because they didn't really prove that friend. They was afraid to make those kind of moves to see if that person was a real friend, because they didn't want to lose them. That ain't how the Most High rocking. The Most High God is gonna prove you, and you got to show forth what you got. Right? He give us all of his wisdom. I want to show you this. This is in Ecclesiastes chapter 1. He gave us all this wisdom, which is, that's love. The wisdom that the Most High gives us from the throne, that's on sit next to the throne, that is love right there. That is love right there. So look, check this out. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and 13. It says, I gave my heart to seek and search out by wisdom concerning all things that are done under heaven. And that's what we all seek. We all want that. We all want to be as wise as Solomon, as wise as Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. It says, this sore travail have God given to the sons of men to be exercised thereby. So the many things that you learn, the Most High gonna see, are you just learning it, or are you learning it and actually applying it to your life? Because it says, this sore travail have God given to the sons of man to be exercised thereby. The Most High gonna see what you got. He's going to prove you, whether you wanna go through that or not. And to be honest with you, you can't choose what you're gonna be proved with. That's why sometimes when you come into the truth, your girl, she leave. You come into the truth, your mama and your daddy, they don't want to deal with you no more. You're being proved. The Most High, like, do you love me or do you love them more? And then he'll end it off by, I love them more than you love them. So it all goes back to the Most High at the end of the day, man. But going back, so China has the DF-5C ICBM missile that's 100 feet tall. It'll give third-degree burns to anybody within a 22-mile radius. So you not only just that, you have Russia. Russia has the R-36, what they call Satan missile. They call this bomb Satan. Can you believe that? Or you can't forget about Moab, mother of all bombs. But you actually have, and that's a spiritual thing. You got a bomb called Moab. That's crazy. But like I said, Russia has a R-36 missile, and this is supposed to be now one of the biggest missiles in the world. This is when I was doing my research, I seen that this was the what makes in all nations, stay in order, man. And I believe this is why Russia is so, prideful right now, because they understand what they got. So this Satan missile, right? This will give anybody within a 24-mile radius third-degree burns, man. Turn you into a damn rotisserie chicken. And all of these nations, when they classify, you got to understand this, when they classify something, that doesn't mean that's all they have. In fact, we know, because you don't show your whole deck of cards. You don't show it. You don't show the right hand, the left hand, what the right hand is doing. You don't do that. You be like, nah, I only got I got a couple. Somebody asks you for something, you be like, yeah, I got a couple dollars. You don't be like, yeah, I got 5,000, bro. I can give you about two. They don't say that. You'll be like, man, I got a couple dollars for you. Are you not letting them know everything? That's how it is with these nations with each other, right? They understand. They like, man, I got something that'll blow you off the map. And these nations, according to the scriptures, are really going to burn America off the map. All right, when you read Revelation chapter 17, one of my favorite chapters. So Revelation chapter 17 and what is it, 16? 15. Revelation 17 and 15. It says, and he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest where the horse sitteth are peoples and multitude of nations and tongues. It says, in the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast. In the 10 horns, what we believe it is you have the EU and you have NATO. The 10 horns goes back to the United Nations. The 7 horns goes back to the EU, and I might got them backwards, but it goes back to the UN, the United Nations, and the European Union, right? So America is allies. America is the founder of the United Nations and the EU, but these are the very countries that's going to turn on America and nuke America. That's what it says in the scriptures. Obadiah chapter 1 says the same thing. The ones that was confederate with you have laid a wound under you, right? And it said that you're not even going to realize that's what they're doing, right? Trump announced when he get into the White House, he said he's cutting ties with the UN, right? The UN and the EU arguing with America. They arguing with each other. It's just a whole bunch of chaos. Satan divided, and he can't stand. So now Trump is threatening and saying, we don't need the UN. They making deals with our enemies. They doing this, they doing that, and they doing that. So you know that UN like, all right, cool, we got you. So you know they probably right now they probably already doing deals with Russia and China. Right? That's just how these nations work. That's how they rock. Right? But it says, in the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. So these 10 horns that was on this beast where this woman was sitting, which is America, right? The beast is the system, right? America's a part of that system. That's why this woman is sitting on this beast. Because she basically they the founder of this beast. They the owner of this beast. Right? You can't go anywhere without America being mentioned or America's products being there. Right? So it says, the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Thermonuclear destruction, Revelation 17, tells us that America is going to be nuked, blown to smithereens, like Donald J. Trump like to say. But it also says, for God hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the times of the word, until the words of God shall be fulfilled. Now, when you go to Proverbs 21, I quoted it once or twice earlier, but I want to get it because it said that the Most High has put in their heart to fulfill his will. And you can see clearly that it's time. You know what? Putin just out of the blue just want war. He wants smoke with everybody now. Out of the blue. That's our sign that it's time. And he waging war. He ain't playing no games because he has the spirit of the Lord upon him. Now, when I say the spirit of the Lord, I'm not talking about he's ready to prophesy. The spirit of the Lord is many different things when he put on you. He can put this, put the spirit on the Lord for somebody to do good to somebody and somebody to, do bad to somebody. Spirits created for vengeance. They will not transgress his commandment. And that goes for the kings and the armies also. So Proverbs 21:1, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. And that's what we're looking at. And this is why we got to build our fear in the Most High, because, bro, if you're not repentant man, before the nukes come, if you're not repentant, it is over, man. A lot of people are going to die before the nukes come. But a lot of people has been so wicked that the Most High is going to cook their ass, man. He is going, man, it's going to be rotisserie style. You're going to be a chicken leg, man. You know, that little small burnt chicken leg at the back of the barbecue grill. That's going to be you. Walking charcoal. That's what a lot of people are today. You know, women, they shaking their ass. That's all they want to do is deal. Like, it seems like nowadays, just women, their biggest desire right now is to deal with multiple men, and they want these men to be okay with it. That's their biggest desire right now, is to deal with multiple men, and these niggas gotta have money, and they want them all men to be okay with it. That is their biggest quarrel when I be listening to these podcasts. Those women, they gonna get cooked, man. They going completely against their role. Hey, men too, simpleton ass niggas who letting women rule just because she got a fat ass. Niggas like that gonna get cooked too. Man, it's a lot of beautiful women, you know, beautiful thick women that the Most High God didn't got rid of, man, at an early age. He don't stand in awe of nobody's greatness, right? Whether you man and you in the military, you strong, you got wisdom, whatever, or a woman, you got you beautiful face that nobody can resist, and you got this banging ass body that nobody can resist, and you got everybody lusting after you the most. I don't care about all that. When you get called home, that's just what it is, man. So, going back to, I want to get Isaiah chapter 54 and 16. Isaiah 54 and 16. Salakia. So this is Isaiah 54 and 16. It says, this is what the Lord said. He says, I have created the blacksmith. Now, I want to show, what does a blacksmith do? So it says, a blacksmith, a craft person who shapes metal into objects and structures using tools like hammers, anvils, and tongs. So a blacksmith is somebody who creates swords, grenades, guns. You know, they the ones that create those. They call them blacksmith. So when the Lord say this, hold on, let me read some more. It says blacksmith work primarily with iron and steel, but can also use other metals. They make a wide variety of objects, including horseshoes, farming tools, weapons, gates, grills, railings, light fixtures, furniture, sculptures, and cooking utensils. Right? So their name is over all of that. Right? So going back to the scripture, it says, this is what the Lord said once again. I have created the blacksmith. The Most High put the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding on this person, on these people, these certain individuals that's good at this, to keep beating on some metal until it becomes sharp. And then put it on their mind, hey, let's dip it in water. Let's get it real hot and then dip it in water and let it cool off. Let it harden. And then we can use this to puncture people. We can use this to do that. That's all the work of the Most High. We don't have that kind of wisdom. The Most High gave us that kind of wisdom. Hey, and I believe that's why your flesh is so soft. What we call the flesh, mortal body. It's so soft for you it's for your punishment. Whenever the Lord want to punish you. That's why when you feel that. So imagine getting hit with a sword or a gun or something. You feel that. Because it's for punishment. That's why it's so soft on you like that. But it says, I have created the blacksmith who fans the coals beneath the forge and makes the weapons of destruction. And I have created the armies that destroy. The Lord is explaining to you, I'm the reason for all of this. So everything we about to witness with these nations, you going against the Most High God if you want it to stop. You are going against God because it's time, like we just read, he's going to call all the nations together to judge each other. But it's all the Lord's judging. So I'm reading in the KJV now. It says, behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, right? An instrument, an instrument of war. It says, and I have created the waster to destroy. So the Most High God created this thermonuclear destruction, ICBM missiles, that intercontinental ballistic missiles that we are, waiting to see fall, come across the sky. And everybody talk all that, they talk cheap now, like they don't care and God ain't gonna do this. But when they see the missiles coming across the sky, it is too late. Just think about it. Sirens going off. They telling you to get to shelter. The elites of this country, they gone. They been gone. They already gone. All you Trump supporters, Trump gonna leave all y'all. Biden, Kamala Harris supporters, they gonna leave y'all. That's just what it is, man. They give you an illusion of choice, but you really didn't. You never had a choice, man. The president was selected, not elected. Go look up the difference. But I want to get another one in Isaiah, because Isaiah said a lot in his book, man. A lot of things that have not still came to pass yet. So when people say the Old Testament, I love saying this. When people say the Old Testament is done away with, it doesn't make any sense, because there's things in Genesis, the book of Genesis, the first book of the Bible, that has not been fulfilled yet. Genesis 49:19. Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. When did that happen? When did Gad come back and overcome at the last? Where? What part of history? It hasn't happened yet. It's talking about Revelations chapter 7, the 12,000 from the tribe of Gad. That's him overcoming. That's him getting his lick back. Right? And I'm pretty sure there's going to be some Gadites inside of the great multitude also that couldn't be numbered in Revelation chapter 7. Right? So this is Isaiah chapter 9 and verse 5. It says, for every battle, so like it says, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. Right? These different war movies, like the movie Gladiator, that's a movie that, it potentially could be talking about, if you want to have a visual of it, swords, men screaming, they get a cut on their arm and they cut off some of their cloth and they wrap it around their arm, and then they get right back into war, screaming, yelling, all of that, whether they getting punctured or whether they getting tired and they just trying to keep going, whatever the case is. It says, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. What is this talking about? He said, all wars is fought with confused noise, garments rolled in blood. He said, but this war is going to be with burning and fuel of fire, thermonuclear destruction, ICBM missiles. That's what we're looking at. The scriptures talk about missiles, man. And a lot of people don't believe that. A lot of people, they make fun of stuff like that, but those will be the very people that's going to get cooked by those missiles. That's how the Lord going to tell you should have listened. A lot of people, man, you have to think that a lot of people in these last days, when those missiles coming across the sky, they're going to be like, oh my God, they was right. Oh my God, this. Oh my God, that. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5. They're going to be thinking about all that. And a lot of people, that's why they're going, they're going to start seeing a pattern. Some people are decent enough to where they're going to start seeing the pattern that we were saying. And then they're going to try to come and seek the Lord's word. But that's the parable of Yahushua, Matthew 25. That oil, y'all should have got that oil earlier. You didn't. You didn't want to get that oil, so now look at you. And you're going to have to deal with it, man. You got to be your own sacrifice, because you played with the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach, who died for your sins. Got his ass whipped by some heathens. Got punctured in his side. Put a crown of thorns on him. They was spitting on him. They was beating on him. They stripped him out of his clothes, put him on a robe. Man, they was doing him bad, man. Made him carry a 300-pound cross. Those crucifixion crosses was 300 pounds, man. 300. Here it is, we at the gym, barely trying to get up 180. And here it is, Yahushua is carrying a 300-pound cross to his death. Yahushua went through a lot, man. And this is what we mean. Like, this is what the Most High mean when he said he going to require it of you if you ain't listen to him. You didn't do what he instructed you to do. Because, bro, you think about dying for some wicked-ass people. You're going to second-guess it all the way to the point where you're not going to do it. You're going to try to justify, I got kids, or I got this, and I got that. Well, he could have did the same thing, but he didn't. He died for our sins. And look at us. Still a wicked-ass nation, man. We breaking, bro, we got all the wisdom now. Breaking it down to these people, and they still don't care. Therefore, they got to be cooked for that. They got to be cooked for that. And I'm going to keep saying cooked because this is the lesson. So Malachi chapter 4 and verse 1, even this is in the Old Testament also. It says, for behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven. When you turn on the oven, we all turn on the oven, we let it heat up. And then, when we see the rings is red, then it's time to throw the food up in there. But you see those heat waves. And it helps you understand how hot it is in there. Right? You put anything in there, it's going to melt it. It says, and all the proud, all that do wickedly shall be stubble. You are going to be walking charcoal if you're not getting your spirit right in these last days, man. Bro, you got to look at it like this. Even if you're right, you still got to examine if you potentially could have been wrong or what you could have did better. That's the only way you can become a better person. And sometimes that shit burn, man. Sometimes it burn, man. It really do. But it's better to go through that kind of burning than a physical burning. Because ain't nobody come save you. Ain't nobody coming to save you, man, when you feel that hot fire. And I always say this, and this is how I think. Bro, here it is. You put your hand over the eye of a stove, and you like, woo! Imagine you being tossed on the eye of a stove. That right there, a lot of people could probably deal with it. This, man, when you read Revelation, look at this. So this is Revelations 14 and 18. And another angel came out from the altar which had power over fire. So there's an angel that has power over fire. He can make it intensely hot or whatever the case. We know you have different phases of fire. The hottest fire, the color is blue. When that thing blue, it's gonna burn something up when it's blue. So it makes sense why this angel had power over fire. It can turn up the ante. He can make it hotter and hotter and hotter. It says, and cry with a loud cry to him that hath the sharp sickle, saying, thrust in thy sickle and gather the cluster of the vine of the earth, for her grapes are fully ripe. This is going into Yahushua coming with the chariots to save the elect and also destroying the wicked. Revelation chapter 14. So going back to Malachi 4, I'm going to start from the top again. It says, for behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, said the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. It ain't going to be nothing left of them. These are Old Testament scriptures. People say it's done away with because they are afraid to address scriptures like that, being that they live a wicked life. You got some people that really, bro, it's like their spirit is in captivity to their flesh, like literally. Like they flesh, a lot of people, they want to do right, but they flesh like, nah, bro, we got something going. I like what we got going. Let's keep doing this. And it be evil as hell. And in their mind, they know they wrong. A lot of people know they wrong. That's why they get offended when we bring out the word, because it's cutting their ass up. It's burning them up. But like I said earlier, this is the time where you want to, embrace that burning. Better that burning than the burning that the Lord is going to send physically. When that stuff burns, it's a discerner of the thoughts, and intent of the heart. That's when it's time right there. Get that out the way. Let's go ahead and address it. Let's go ahead and get to changing it. Because, everything, you can adapt to anything. We Israelites, if we can adapt to the 1800s, we can adapt to anything. Especially something beneficial like change. We need to be adapting to that. So 2 Peter chapter 3 and 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night. So the day of the Lord is not always Yahweh Shah Mashiach cracking the sky open. The day of the Lord can be the tribulation also. But in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise. Boom, 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 boom. It's gonna be crazy, man. It says, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. All that cool wind, it's gonna get melted. It's gonna evaporate. It's not gonna be no cool wind. It's gonna be nothing but heat. The elements, the trees, everything is gonna just get cooked, man. Everything's gonna burn up. Imagine this whole entire country on fire, man. That's a lot of missiles from different countries, right? And then in the scriptures it says after them countries do it, which most importantly the Most High, America's allies, they're gonna regret it. They're gonna say, alas, alas. They're gonna feel remorseful about. That's what that word goes back to, remorse. But it goes back to the Most High has put in their heart to fulfill His will. Because these countries really don't want no smoke with America. They just don't. They really getting tired of America bullying them, telling them they can't do something, but then America go do the exact thing they telling other countries they can't do. That's what these countries are sick of, and that goes for anybody. Like if you watch on a movie, a bully getting bullied, and he getting bullied again. He just keep getting bullied. Eventually, that bully he gonna overdo it, right? He's gonna put his hands on him and ultimately break his neck, and then that the victim, it starts feeling sorry, like, oh my God, what have I done? What have I done? That's how it's gonna be with these nations with America. They're gonna overdo it. They're gonna over nuke this place, and they're gonna say, damn, what we do. We needed America. We just didn't want them to do this to us. We didn't want them to put sanctions on us. We got tired of the penal codes. We didn't want to nuke them, no. It's too late, though. When those missiles come across the sky, man, it's going to look like, if you ever seen the movie 300, how they shot like thousands of bow and arrows in the air, and they used those shields. That's how it's going to look. To where when they shot those arrows, it darkened the sun. So it darkened the sun to where it became dark like that because of arrows is in the air. They all got shot off at the same time. So it says, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the earth, heavens, which is the sky, shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. Everything in this mug is going to be cooked in America. Everything in its place. That's why there's no point of clinging on. Because, like, bro, a lot of people, they're going to give up. They're going to give up their morals. They're going to give up the Most High. They're going to give up everything for some material ass shit that don't even have a name on it. Samsung, Dodge Chargers, Nikes, this house ain't even yours. Nigga, even when you pay the house off, you still got to pay a mortgage. That means it's not yours. Because they can easily be like, well, this house is on our property. You paying land bills to have your house on their land. And that ain't gonna never stop, man. That's just how it is. So ultimately, nothing is yours, and that's called Agenda 2030. So they want by 2030, these are their plans. They said that you will own nothing and be happy, meaning you're gonna own nothing, but you think you own the things that you have, but you really don't. If that was the case, how can IRS come and confiscate your things if you in debt? I get you in debt, but you shouldn't be able to come get my stuff. You shouldn't be able to seize my house and my dog is in the house and you're like, no, ain't nothing leaving out of this. But now the dog has to stay in the house. You can't even take the dog with you. Ain't none of this yours anyway. That's how we got to look at things. None of this is ours. And this will help. This will help a lot on your journey. This shit ain't mine anyway. And this should help you when it's time to be a pilgrim. This should help you. This shit ain't mine anyway. Just leave it, man. I know you got the customized charger. I know you got the customized front room, in your house. You got a lot of customized things that fit your liking. But you got to understand, in the kingdom of heaven, bro, you can customize it even better. You can get the original gold, original diamonds, original this and original that, and actually have it customized to your liking, and you can actually enjoy it. You can't enjoy shit here. You got to work 5 days a week. Hey, in the 6th day, you got to catch up on sleep, and in the 7th day, you gotta dedicate that time to your wife and the children, the spouse and the children. So you really don't get to enjoy shit. Esau didn't give you those 2 days off because he have love for you. He gave you those 2 days off because he understands the body. The body needs to rest in order to keep working. That's what they understand. Don't be no fool, man. So it says, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat, the earth also, and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. And then it says, and I keep going over this, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of person ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness? You see that? Then it says, looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of the Lord. We're supposed to be looking forward and hastening in his day with all confidence. Man, that shit be nasty when Edomites be bringing their fucking dogs in grocery stores. That just shows you their nature. Like, you're bringing a dog in the grocery store. Why? Got it all over there in the fruit aisles, and where it can potentially get. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just Esau and their nature, man. But on back to the point, we're supposed to be hastening the coming of the Lord with all confidence, according to 1 John chapter 2 and 27. When you read 1 John 2 and 27, it says 28. And now, little children, abide in him, that when he shall appear, the day of the Lord, we may have confidence and not be ashamed before him at his coming. A lot of niggas, they're going to be having their head down like, Lord, I know I didn't do everything you told me to, but because he got parables on that. Thou wicked and slothful servant, thou knewest that I reapest what I wanted and sowed what I wanted. Thou knowest I did what I wanted to do. Take away the talents that he had and give to somebody else. And guess what this man did? He hid his talents in the earth, meaning he watching all these videos, he doing all this studying, but he just sitting on his ass. He ain't putting it to work. He's talking about you. That's who he talking about, you. He called you a wicked and slothful servant. You're wicked for not going out to the highways and byways. Say whatever you want. We don't just go out there to look good. We go out there because we're commanded to go out there. You can go Google how many parables, or go read the parables. Go read the Gospels and watch how many parables Yahweh Shah is basically telling you, bro, go out to the highways and byways. Go out to the highways and byways. Do you love me? Feed my sheep. Do you love me? Feed my lambs. Do you love me? You're like, bro, if you love me, then go out there and do it. That my house may be filled. Right? So I ain't gonna get that. I'm gonna go back. It says, and now, little children, abide in him, that when he shall appear, we may have confidence and not be ashamed before him at his coming. That's how we want to be. That's the spirit we want to be in. Right? So that's all I got, man, for this. I don't want to make it too much longer. I gotta get to the drops now. So Abaratazah, you was edified, even if it's just a little bit. Shalom.